Muhammad, when he leaves Mecca, he was persecuted in Mecca because he kept antagonizing them, making fun of their gods.
And that's vitally important to emphasize.
And so he
started it.
Yeah, they persecuted him. As long as he wasn't mocking their gods, they didn't have a problem with him. And that's in the Muslim sources. It's only because he kept ridiculing their gods and just insulting and degrading their religious beliefs. I'm pointing that out because that's what Muslims say that no one's supposed to do about Islam. But that's exactly what Muhammad did. So if he's the moral example, you should always criticize other people's religions. But Muhammad was persecuted in Mecca, we acknowledge that, and he eventually fled Mecca, went to Medina. Now, once he's in Medina, how much do the Meccans care about him?
They don't even think about him. They don't even mention him. They don't even lose sleep over him anymore.
The troublemaker is gone.
We
can get some sleep now, right?
Life is back to normal.
And Muhammad, now that he was in a different city, he had the opportunity to live in peace without conflict and just couldn't do it. What does he do? He starts robbing the Meccan caravans. And interestingly, they keep failing, right? They keep trying to launch raids against the Meccan caravans. So if you get in mind, Mecca is kind of in the middle of nowhere. They don't have a lot of natural resources, so they have to get things through trade. They have to get what they need through trade. So people would invest in the caravan trade, trading supplies along different trade routes. And Muhammad is starting to attack the caravans, rob them.
Exactly.
And this is dangerous because if you invest everything your family has in order to get something back, and Muhammad robs it along the way, you starve. You starve to death. So this was, let's say it, this is terrorism, right? He's trying to terrorize you. You don't know if your livelihood is safe any longer. And so Muhammad tries over and over again to rob the caravans. He keeps failing until he eventually has a successful raid. What happened there?
And that happens during one of the forbidden months of fighting. And it's mentioned in chapter 2, verse 217 of the Quran. Let me just read the commentary by Ali al-Wahdi in his Asbab al-Nuzul. Al-Wahdi in his Asbab al-Nuzul, and give you the context. Now let me read this. Urwa ibn al-Zubayr informed us that the Messenger of Allah sent a military expedition against unsuspecting caravan, by the way. They were not prepared for an attack, and they were not going to war. Military expedition, and appointed Abdullah ibn Jash al-Asdi as its leader. This expedition proceeded until they reached Nakhla, which is near Mecca, where they found Amr ibn al-Hadrami leading a trade caravan for the Quraysh. That day was the last day of the sacred month, where it was forbidden to fight and wage war. The Muslims were divided in their opinion, right? Some of them said, we know for certain that today belongs to the sacred month. Now notice, they're aware of this, right? We are aware of the view that you should for certain, that today belongs to the sacred month. We are aware of you that you should not violate it because of greed. Notice, don't do it because you're greedy. This is going to start problems. It's a sacred month. The opinion of those who desire the stuff of this world gained the upper hand. They attacked Ibn al-Hadrami, killed him. They killed this man and seized his camels. Now I can read the rest of this, but you get the picture. Here it was the forbidden month where you could not attack other people, especially unsuspecting caravan that was carrying goods for the welfare of the people at Mecca. What do the Muslims do? Decide to attack and kill this person in order to steal their goods and bring them back to Medina. And now that caused problems, but again, remember, Allah is only too quick to fulfill desires of Muhammad. He hastens to fulfill desires of Muhammad. And chapter 2, verse 217 was revealed to justify what Muhammad did, basically. Now, I have the verse. I can read it if you want to read it.
Go ahead and read the verse real quick.
Real quickly, because I know time is winding down. 2:217. Notice Allah's response to this atrocity. What did Allah say in light of this atrocity? They asked thee concerning fighting in the sacred months. Fighting therein is a grave offense. Yeah, it is wrong. Quran is acknowledging it. But worse still in the sight of Allah is to prevent access to the path of Allah, to deny Him, to prevent access to the sacred mosque and drive out its members. Tumult and oppression are worse than slaughter. Do you get it? The justification? Yeah, it's bad. But you know what's worse? That you allow Muhammad and his followers to come and visit the sacred mosque, that you drove Muhammad out from Mecca because he wanted to worship Allah alone.
So there's a general truce. You violate the truce, kill someone who's just trying to trade some goods, and yeah, that's kind of bad that you did that in the sacred month, but it's okay because they did something to you first. Welcome to Islam.